The Crime Solutions website in 2016 states violent crime committed by juveniles peaks during the after-school hours. Nearly one-third, or 29%, of all violent crime committed by juveniles occurs between 3 and 7 p.m. In comparison, nearly the same proportion of violent crime committed by adults, 26%, occurs between the hours of 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. If a student had a better environment to retreat to that offered them the safety of shelter, and also encouraged them scholastically after they got out of school instead of contending with all of the negative aspects of boredom combined with the danger of crime that exists in the streets, then the statistics of crime that these young people commit will lower dramatically. Research suggests that after-school program participation by students in their formative years will lower crime rate statistics because these programs become safe, positive environments for them to spend their time being a part of instead of finding a more negative outlet, and they will learn enriching valuable skills and attributes needed to become productive citizens as they mature into adulthood. According to Fox and Newman in 2000, the safe haven of after-school programs for reducing crime is believed to be positive in the eyes of many, including law enforcement officials. When questioned through a poll conducted about the most effective way to lower violence in juvenile students, police chiefs selected to increase the accessibility of after-school programs and good adolescent care programs by a vote of 4-1, above the other choices like trying a youth as adult offenders and the installation of school metal detectors. By a consensus of almost 9-1, they chose the expansion of after-school and adolescent care programs will significantly lessen the rate of crime and violence by adolescents, and the failure to do so will result in higher costs being put into crime and court costs later on. Even a public outlook survey proved that 8 out of 10 Americans agree with the previous poll of law enforcement officers that after-school programs will highly lower adolescent criminal activity. The After School Alliance website shows how a recent study of LA's BEST program demonstrated how powerfully these programs can stretch in keeping students safe from crime. Juveniles are 30% less likely to take part in criminal offenses than their other student counterparts who did not participate in the program. Statistics for school dropouts were 20% less than those in the school district for those in the program. For every dollar that was financially invested in the LA's BEST program, Los Angeles was able to save $2.50 in the financial support of criminal funding. The price of placing a child into the criminal justice system is nearly 4 times more than it would be to make them successful, educated members of society, according to WordPress website in 2014. The foundation to accomplishing this winning attainment in life is in early educational programs. As soon as a child begins school, stress and pressure is placed upon them by their peers that begins leading to criminal activities and them not abiding by the law. After-school programs are a key factor of success as an adult. On average, an after-school program merely costs $3,800 per child, while $49,300 is required to send that same exact child to a juvenile detention facility. Fox and Newman suggested student mentoring along with programs when studied were also proved to show that time spent positively after school can make a huge difference in a student's life in the year 2000. Programs featuring mentoring can prevent and even intervene to youths who are at-risk populations, poverty-stricken neighborhoods, or have been abused, neglected, or are disabled, all while improving them academically, judicially, and emotionally. The Crime Solutions website suggested in 2016 that programs such as Operation Peacekeeper in Stockton, California, are successfully reducing gang participation and crimes of violence committed by adolescents aged 10 to 18 by using youth outreach workers in a community-based mentoring program. Fox and Newman quoted in 1997 that a public-private venture study of Big Brothers Big Sisters carefully designed mentoring program showed that young people randomly assigned to receive a mentor were half as likely to begin illegal drug use during the period of study as those randomly assigned to the control group. Among minority applicants, controls were 3 times as likely as participants to start using drugs. Those who received mentors were also 38% less likely to initiate alcohol use during the period of study. And in a sign that the mentoring program had an impact on violent behavior, those in the mentoring program were only half as likely to have hit someone during the period of the study. The website of After School Alliance suggested in 2007 that the positive environment promoted by after-school programs directly impacts juvenile criminal offenses reoccurring and even beginning. Students who are not involved with any after-school program, when compared with those that are participants, are much more probable to be suspended from school. However, students who were involved with after-school programs and had once been in trouble with the Juvenile Department of Justice were less likely to commit crimes again. Also, when a student is a program partaker and have never been involved in the criminal system, they are less likely to ever commit a crime of unlawful offense in the first place. Columbia University conducted a research study of students who lived in housing projects where there were Boys and Girls Clubs sponsored through the Operation Weed and Seed program that was through the Justice Department. The research proved that the arrest records of those juveniles were 13% less than those in housing projects that did not have the clubs. The research also revealed that drug use and activity was 22% lower than those who did not have Boys and Girls Clubs in their housing projects, agrees both Fox and Newman in 1997. Research suggests that after-school program participation by students in their formative years will lower crime rate statistics because they will learn enriching, valuable skills and attributes needed to become productive citizens as they grow with age, instead of juvenile criminals who become adult criminals. Instead of a student spending his time after school with no supervision and the negative influence of peer pressure, even leading to gang involvement, instead they can be surrounded by their peers in the positive, skill-developing, education-enhancing atmosphere of an after-school program, was reported on the After School Alliance website in 2007. A study conducted, as described by Fox and Newman in 1997, recently revealed that children from lesser-income families who actively participated in superior after-school programs displayed higher grades, better school behavior, adjusted and adapted more with their feelings, and also got along better with their other classmates. Because these students were in these programs, they had much greater chances to enrich themselves academically with the activities developed through the programs, as well as learn how to build their character. After-school programs contribute financial opportunity by providing academic support and job skills. Fox and Newman also described the Opportunities Industrialization Center's Quantum Opportunities Program in 1997 as a program that indiscriminately chooses freshmen in high school that are from very low-income families from 4 different urban areas to become a part of a highly concentrated, thorough developing enrichment after-school program. This program combines academics, individual growth and development, service work to their local community, and financial encouragements to keep the endangered juvenile students on the right track to successfully graduate from high school and become industrious, positive citizens of society in adulthood. These young male students that were selected at random to become participants in the Quantum Opportunities Program were only 1/6 as likely to be sentenced for a crime throughout their time in high school as the male students who were not participants in the after-school program. In the Quantum Opportunities Program, which includes counseling, academic enhancement, life skills coaching, community service projects, and financial motivation, randomly chose high school students participants were less than 25% as likely to be convicted of a criminal act as those in the controlled group. Research shows that results from over time were highly successful, with participants in the Quantum Opportunities Program more than 50% likely to graduate high school on time, and more than 2.5 times to continue their education past high school. Their arrest records drastically decreased throughout their high school education years by 75%. After-school programs are becoming agreed upon by successful companies for sponsorship nationwide for bettering the skills and abilities of students' growth and future development. Fox and Newman elaborated more in the years 1997 and 2000 by showing a student from the University of Wisconsin of 64 after-school programs maintained by the Cooperation Extensive Services, discovering that teachers in education testified that these programs had helped students develop cooperation skills and a higher ability to handle conflict. These students also achieved a higher interest in, although developed greater interest in reading for entertainment and also got higher grades. It was even reported by a third of the principals of the schools that school property vandalism had greatly diminished because of these after-school programs. The Coca-Cola Valued Youth Development Program intensifies the self-esteem and school achievement of at-risk middle and high school students by creating for them a position of responsibility as becoming a tutor to a student younger than them. Only 1% of the students in the program become school dropouts, in comparison to the 12% of the students in the control group. The Coca-Cola Valued Youth Development Program is now even being used as an after-school program. The Voyager, which originated as a summer reading program, established in partnership with the Smithsonian Institute, the Discovery Channel, Polaroid, and NASA, showed extreme improvement rates of 35% for word recognition and 84% for reading comprehension for students in kindergarten through the 9th grade. The Voyager program is now also being used as an after-school program. The Fight Crime, Invest in Kids program consists of 1,000 police chiefs, sheriffs, prosecutors, and violent crime victims as members. They propose for elected officials to create ways to make after-school program availability to any and all families and adolescents that may need them. The proposal for the help of elected officials has been validated by national, top, and state law enforcement organizations, and also by the National Organization of Victims Assistance. In conclusion, we have learned that research suggests that after-school program participation by students in their formative years will lower crime rate statistics because these programs become safe, positive environments for them to spend their time being a part of instead of finding a more negative outlet, and they will learn enriching, valuable skills and attributes needed to become productive citizens as they mature into adulthood. After students leave school at the close of the school day, many times they are not under any adult care or supervision, becoming part of an environment that is both unfit and unsafe. Left up to their own devices, youth often find themselves taking part in drug and alcohol use, as well as becoming involved in other forms of illegal actions and lifestyles. After-school programs provide a safe, supervised atmosphere where these juvenile students can participate in activities that are scholastically elevating, be guided by concerned and compassionate mentors that both motivate and inspire, and even can enjoy nutritious snacks and meals while there. While most of these things are not usually readily available to all of these children when at home, these after-school programs provide a positive outlet for children who are usually surrounded by so much negativity. As participants in these after-school programs, students no longer place a major emphasis in becoming involved in criminal and violent offenses, instead replacing it with a constructive, lawful, progressive way of spending their time after school, leading into a brighter future in adulthood, as shown on the WordPress website in 2014.